Today is sort of a special day. So this is a piece of Warhammer that I painted when I was like 14 years old maybe. This High Elf Dragon. And around this age is when I didn't have a Warhammer club. I didn't have a hobby shop. And my only connection to this hobby that I cherish so much was the internet. Maybe I should make some orcs, otherwise I'm going to get emotional. Specifically on the internet was a YouTube channel called MiniWarGaming. You bloody heard of them, I know you have. Dave from MiniWarGaming has always been my hobby hero. Wait for it. Look at that one, that's a record. When I was at Adepticon this year, I ran into MiniWarGaming Dave. And, you know, sometimes you gotta shoot your shot. He made very passionate small talk with me. And I was having none of it. I was like, Dave, MiniWarGamer Dave is here. I gotta tell him. And I poured my heart out to him in minutes. And I was holding back tears. And I'm saying, Dave, you know, it's really because of you I'm doing what I'm doing. You know, like I told him, you know, the MiniWarGaming forums and stuff, why I had friends in the hobby, and where I shared my first videos. He did this really weird tutorial where he took straws, plastic straws, and melted them with a lighter and made this alien terrain with it. And that was my first bloody hustle as a kid. When I eventually got a tabletop club, I sold these like melted straws as pink horrors, Zinch pink horrors. To this guy called Damo. If there was a, hang on. If you were to summon me, this is the summoning circle you would need. I'm not going to elaborate on any of these things, but at the very top, MiniWarGamer Dave. We ended up hanging out till the early hours of the morning. And the very special thing that happened today was this.
Bumping into these guys was
Look at this.
So much fun, which is why I explored even further. Up in a hotel.
Oh, that's Bill. Oh, that's Josh. Oh, that's Scott. Oh, that's Brent. Look, it's me. We look bloody, yeah, we, yeah. What a photo, huh? Look at that. I tell you, if 14-year-old me could see me now, be bloody proud, I reckon. Bloody proud. That's really fucking special, Dave. Thank you. That's really special. Okay, let's, look, I bloody, okay. All right. I promised you all a Q&A, so let's do that right now. Q&A, 23rd of April. I asked you like an hour ago maybe for your questions. Look, that's my little Q&A photo. What's your favorite sculpt / miniature? This one's easy. There's Wood Elf War Dancer by Jess Goodwin. Classic. Have you ever thought about producing miniatures for Arcane Ugly? Yes, and I have, in fact. Oh, okay. Check these out. A little while ago, I visited Viv from Knights of Dice and we hung out for a bit. I crashed on his couch. I basically moved in. He has metal casting machines and a brilliant amount of knowledge about how to use it. And we made, ready? These weird creations are for Arcane Ugly. So these models I made with Tina, who I made an entire plants book with. And this was her first time sculpting. And we sort of worked out what we wanted the direction to be, the sculpting style, the concepts, all that together. And my process was like, she would sculpt something really nice and I'd be like, it's gotta be more shit. And then I would sculpt on top of it and make it worse. If you want photos, check out my Instagram. My friend Matt from Totally Not Panicking took some because I was selling them at Adepticon. Yeah, and they're all gone, and hopefully we'll make some more, but that requires money and stuff, and we'll see. Viv from Knights of Dice is a bloody legend though, and it was so nice of him to do all this with me, and I had the best time, and I really hope he'll do more stuff with me. Viv from Knights of Dice. Check out Knights of Dice, Australian company from Melbourne, very close to my heart. Viv had a YouTube channel called Rubbish In, Rubbish Out, and just like Dave was an idol for me, so was Viv. He taught me how to make terrain as a kid too. Will you continue the Nurgle Diaries? Look, I bloody knew this one was coming. The reason why I have decided to do so many smaller videos lately, so many of these vlogs, is because so many of you just get so bloody attached to the projects I do, and it takes so long to make them. I just have to be making more stuff, I think is the conclusion. Because that Nurgle army took so many twists and turns for me, and everyone sort of gets attached to different parts of it. But the thing was, I started that project because it was something I was doing for my local club to play real games with. And then it became all-consuming. It didn't really feel like my project anymore. It wasn't a homegrown thing that I was passionate about making because everyone had their own expectations. And one episode, I broke off all the models on their bases and I started reusing them for different projects. And that was incredibly liberating for me because I took ownership back of those models. And that upset a lot of people, I get it. But when you make those things, it's really easy to put them back together. You know you can put them back together. You know you can make something better next time. You know, it's, I get it. I get why everyone was really attached to the Nurgle Diaries. But, you know, I ended it because everyone got a little bit too attached. But it's always there. And I use those models constantly in new projects all the time. Sometimes you recognize it, sometimes you don't. The Nurgle Diaries is also really complicated because obviously it blew up this channel. And a lot of people were telling me, you know, you have to keep this series going forever. It was initially going to be 7 episodes and it was done. But people were like, this is the wave, you've got to ride it. And I was really scared that I was going to lose an audience for ending a series. I had to prove to myself that I could do more things. And that's why I started doing Arcane Ugly. So I had 2 series going at the same time. And that felt really good because it's like, oh, you know, people are still interested in me. It's not Nurgle Diaries and people are still interested. But then I ended up burning the candle at both ends and I got really sad because I didn't have enough time to do both things. That's why I've been doing more short form stuff and making what I want to make, and you're just along for the ride. I love your feedback though, and I love that you get so interested, and I love when people get really interested in things I make because it feels really special and I feel really cool. But that's where the separation is. It's my bloody army. Which miniature do you show to people who ask what mini are you most proud of? Okay. I say, look at the walking house I made. I think that's sort of like the entry point of, okay, this person probably doesn't know anything about miniatures and I don't want to alienate them too much. But if they're cool, this one. Do you have any updates from folks who have bought licenses to recast the frog/toad miniatures? Curious if we can get a list of countries that have a caster using them for local shipping options. Anytime someone new buys one of the toads and says they're casting it, I put it on my Instagram. And right now, I'm actually selling 2nd generation. So this is one of the 36. This is my copy. And I've sculpted new warts on it, and I've released another 36 from this, which you can buy on miscast.co. These are made to order. I did a 2nd generation because I want more out in the world and want more people casting them. And a lot of people bought them to collect or paint or whatever. That's fine, totally fine. But it just means that I don't think I've seen anyone actually selling them yet. So if you're out there and you're selling them, let me know. I'll make sure to share it. How do you start a project that's been on your mind for months, but you don't have the time or materials or necessarily the skills? That sounds like all the important things to have. I can see why that would be a problem. When I'm in a situation like that, which happens all the time, a very ambitious person, I write those ideas down. And once you write them down, they're out of your brain. And then you can focus on something that is more in your grasp, but you always have that idea there if you have the means to do it. What is your favorite album? Oh! This is the best album I own. It's a compilation album curated by DJ Cozy with a bunch of his edits and stuff on there. I recommend it a bunch. It's pretty weird, but there's one thing related to the hobby that you are too afraid to try. Genuinely, I will do anything. Anything hobby related, I would love to do it. You know, you could send me up in a plane and say, you know, go skydiving and assemble some models, or swim with crocodiles, and kitbash, enter a golden demon, like have someone train me or something. Any tips on staying focused and motivated on projects? Yeah, that's sort of interesting in our hobby, huh? Because we have all this like stigma around unfinished things. We have like the pile of shame, the collective term we use for our projects that we didn't finish. I think that's a part of creativity. I don't trust creative people if they don't have unfinished things, because what sort of exploring are you doing? That's like creative exploration, that's exploration in what you find fun doing, that's exploration and getting better. I think having unfinished things is a big part of the process. And for me, I think there's nothing wrong with jumping around projects if you're not having fun, if you need a break, or you get motivated to do something different. It's very rewarding finishing projects, but I've also finished a lot of projects that I got to the end and I'm like, this wasn't really worth the headache that I was having, but I've just finished it out of stubbornness or whatever. What projects are you and Rachel currently working on together? Rachel will be helping me release Arcane Ugly this year. So yes, there will also be Arcane Ugly videos to go along with that, and they're going to be quite special, and I'm working hard on them. I'm trying to conquer a problem with this next series that I think is the biggest problem that indie RPGs have, and that's no. Any plans to make something like the Plants Nowhere to Be Found book sometime again? Yes, absolutely. So we already started working on the second project while I was traveling around Europe. Here's a little teaser. This is one of Tina's designs. Little teasers, yeah? Cool, right? There's heaps. Look, I don't want to, I can't give them all away. We're still finishing up the Plants Nowhere to Be Found Kickstarter. So that's number one priority at the moment. There are a few spare books that we got printed. I've currently put up on miscast.co if you want to snag them quickly. If you didn't back the Kickstarter, we're just making some extras available. Black Magic Craft, he says, why did you lie about the chicken salt? I have no idea what you're talking about, Jeremy. This is really weird. That's something weird for you to bring up. What was your first kit bash? Oh, okay. When I was a kid, I really wanted dragon princes. Dragon princes are like these noble knights that high elves have. They have these awesome helmets. They look really cool and regal, and their horses are dressed up like dragons. I couldn't afford them because they were so expensive. You had to buy individual booster packs, and I think they were like $22 each, and I needed at least 5 of them. So I bought a box of silver helms, which are like the cheap core units that high elves have, and I put lizard man shields. See? So proud of these, and I still am. What is one bit you've been dying to use but never had the chance? This one. I bought this at Foundry, and I bought it as part of a Goblin Shaman kit, and it's meant to be a statue, but I think I'm going to make it an actual face for an Orc Demon Prince, maybe. It's the next day, 24th of April. I hope you've enjoyed this Q&A. Oh, fuck.